Hello and welcome back to Creative Ops, a podcast for creative people by creative people. I am the head creative enthusiast, Christopher Tallon. If you want to know more about me, you can head over to www.christophertallon.com with 2 L's, but enough about me. Today, the show is about Jonathan Wayne Freeman, a man who is professionally funny on Instagram. But before we get to that, let's talk about a couple of the friends of the show. Rivertown Adventures at rivertownadventures.com is the most fun you're going to have outdoors anywhere. So if you're in the Lansing, Michigan area, you want to get out on the water and have some fun, check them out, rivertownadventures.com. Live free, go paddle. I want to tell you about Baby Farm Soaps, the best soap makers in the world out of Berea, Kentucky. They're only on Facebook, so go to Facebook, type in Baby Farm Soaps, order all kinds of stuff, whether you got a beard, whether you got just skin. Hopefully you have skin. They can help you out. They got good products. Baby Farm Soaps on Facebook. Also check out Six Coast Soil, a Michigan company that makes the best soil. It's tailored for cannabis growing, but it also works for vegetable growing. I've grown tomatoes and cucumbers out of it, and it's phenomenal. So look up sixcoastsoil.com and get yourself some good soil. And if you're looking to grow something out of it, Fresh Coast Seed Company, if it's legal where you live, sells the best cannabis seeds anywhere. Superior genetics, highly motivated. Fresh Coast Seed Co. Check them out on Instagram. All right, now we're going to get to the show part of it. Jonathan Wayne Freeman, as I was starting to say earlier, is a very funny guy, and he's professionally funny on Instagram now. That's what he does. So he has a inspiring story. He came from, he'll explain it better than I will, but he came from a low place where he was not happy with his life, the way things were going, and he just took matters into his own hands and said, I'm going to be funny on Instagram for a living, just you watch. And now here he is doing podcasts talking about exactly how he did exactly that. So let's get to it, huh? Jonathan Wayne Freeman. Everybody check him out on Instagram at Jonathan Wayne Freeman. There's no H in Jonathan. Jonathan Wayne Freeman. He's a hilarious guy. Whether you're into surfing or not, you're going to find his humor, I think, quite humorous. So here's that interview with my new friend, Jonathan Wayne Freeman. To maybe start would be Peter Terrace, because he's our common, I don't know what you want to call him, friend, colleague,
associate,
yes.
Yeah.
Workplace proximity associate. So yeah, how did you guys meet each other? He said on the show that he was trying to, at one point in life, kind of holla at one of your wife's friends, and that didn't work out. But then, just through the Talega community, you guys kind of hooked back up via him seeing you trashing Talega on YouTube one time.
I knew of Peter from being just a fan of surfing, and I would see his name. I knew he was a famous surf photographer, for many, many years. And I just always thought he was a pretty cool guy, but I never met him. And then, once I started doing all this stuff on Instagram, we have kids that are similar ages, and he thought it was funny and could relate to a lot of the stuff. So he hit me up in my DMs, and Surfer Magazine was still around then.
Yeah. It's
gone now after 60 years, sadly. But yeah, he hit me up and was like, we should do something together. So that's how I met Peter. And then since then, yeah, we've worked on a bunch of stuff together and continue to do so.
Yeah, he was telling me that there are still some yet to be seen by the general public episodes of UltraCore, and there was one where, what was it, you fell in love with like the Surf Report machine, or?
Yeah, he basically took the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah,
I think it's called Her. But it's me falling in love with Surfline with Lola, who's like the forecaster. Pete still thinks we're gonna put these out. I don't know, and it's funny you mentioned that. The reason I may sound a little groggy, I was up late last night at a bar with Chris Christensen, the surfboard shaper,
Oh,
and
okay.
he was in one of those episodes, which was the mid-length episode, and it was all about riding mid-length. But I had to explain to him, I'm like, Chris, it's never, we're never gonna air it because Surfer Magazine's gone. So I've just been releasing the clips, like parts of them, slowly onto my own Instagram. And I don't know if Peter likes that, but I'm like, Pete, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to use this. And we just have all this beautiful footage. So yeah,
Yeah, he's knee deep into those wine reviews now, so I think he's probably going to be cool with that.
boy, he does love those wine reviews. I tell you what, I like his dancing at the beginning of his wine reviews. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, yeah. No matter what you think of his dancing, the confidence alone it says something.
It does. He's a brash man. Very entirely too confident, if you ask me. But hey, that's good for him.
Yeah. In one of those episodes, you were trying to get some air, and you landed right on. Was that Peter that you landed on?
That was Peter. Yeah, that was one of the first times we hung out, and he got injured his back. But that's his fault. He was the pro. He's supposed to know how to shoot water photography. I don't know what I'm doing. So
Yeah,
I didn't feel too bad. I actually thought it was pretty funny, to be
yeah.
honest. It felt like landing on a sea lion. Felt nice on my end. Didn't feel good for him, but fine with me.
I'm imagining he made a sound probably something similar to
He did. Just terrifying grown man injury sound.
All right, so most people know you because of your surfing exploits in and out of the water. Have you been like born and raised California, always around surfing, or did you kind of find it later in life? How did that come around?
I'm so sorry. My son just turned a show on in the background. Are you going to hear that in the or is that okay?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay. Good. I'll yell at him for you if you want. I can scream at him. I'll do that for you.
I
No,
bought my kids
I
candy,
grew up
put them in the other room, and they're like, I was like, all right, guys, just stay in here, eat this candy, and only go to the bathroom or go outside. Leave me alone for an hour.
I
They're
feed
like,
my
okay.
kids candy for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They just get candy. That's what we do at my house. There's no nutrients at all. Their bones are very weak, but I mean, whatever. I don't care. It's not me. It's them, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, so
they love you.
I
They're
grew
really
up.
excited, and then they sleep great at night. It's a win.
They do, and I don't care about the health effects.
Yeah.
Whatever. I grew up what we would consider inland in Southern California. So Peter's from San Clemente. So Peter was a cool guy. San Clemente, he's from the beach. I grew up in Mission Viejo, which might as well be in the middle of the desert, but it's actually like 10, 12, 15 miles from the ocean. So yeah, I loved surfing. I was fascinated by it. We grow up here. We wear the clothes. I'd wear TNC. I'd wear all the brands, but I didn't surf. I would just boogie board. I'd ride this little orange Aussie boogie board, and I'd look at the surfers, and I'd think about it, like maybe one day I'll learn how to surf. And then I played all the traditional sports up until freshman year of high school, and I started surfing on a soft top, or what we called a doyle back in the day, and I was hooked. I was just like, this is it. I'm never gonna stop doing this, and I haven't stopped doing it since. I
And,
just fell in love with it,
and
and
how old were you then?
yeah, I was 14,
14. Okay,
15,
so yeah,
14,
as
15,
you're saying,
which
like
is late.
just getting into
That's
high
late.
school. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's like
Peter was telling me
you're
about
not
people
gonna
that
get,
go out and photograph like 5 and 6-year-olds.
dude. It's bonk. Just anything that happens with the little league father, the exact same thing happens with dads who push their kids into surfing and literally push them into waves and are filming them. And the mom's on the beach in her bikini hanging out watching, and they have this Sprinter van that's $200,000, and they all ride their electric bikes down. They're rich, and that's all they do is surf. And their kid's gonna be a pro.
I,
Sure he is. Yeah.
and I don't know if you knew this, but I'm in the Midwest. I'm in Michigan, so we've got our big thing is unsalted because all of our water is fresh. But no, but oh god, sorry, I had two diverging thoughts, and then they had did one of those things where they both run into each other, and then neither of them gets through. So, let's just move on, and I'll I'll edit it out so it'll seem like I was super smooth.
This is the aging process. This is what we're dealing with here, bro. Our brains don't work as well. Our kids got the fresh brains. That's why I'm trying to give them all the candy so that their brain maybe melts a little bit and we're on the same level.
Right.
The brain's too fresh.
I was gonna say something about being in Michigan, but I can't remember what it was now. I got my surfboard though. You see that in the background?
Oh yeah,
yeah. It kind of blends in with the wall in the crappy picture, but
it's laundry day, baby.
Oh,
it's laundry day every day in my house. Never ends.
It's been really bad too because we actually I got to get a new dryer because the heating thing doesn't work, so it'll spin but it won't dry. So right now we've got the back room, which is just mostly storage, rigged up. So we got a couple clotheslines in there until we have a dryer back in the house. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Oops. So yeah, not only is this a very amateurish podcast, it's a very amateurish just life guy in general hosting it.
Hey, my entire thing is amateur. I hate editing. Thank God I met people like Pete. Like I like being in front of the camera. I enjoy talking, but anything other than that, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to do it. Lazy bones, tell you what.
When did you start getting in front of the camera, or at least not even the camera, but like kind of expressing that like desire to be a performer?
As long as I can remember. I mean, since I was really small, just doing church plays, getting in front of everybody, I've never had that thing that like I don't get nervous. I love it. Like I can talk to 10,000 people in public. I can get up on a stage. I can do it in front of a camera. I just didn't think that I could ever make a living or make money with that skill, which is stupid because of course you can. This is the best time in the world to do that. So I always had just like your normal 9-to-5 government jobs until very recently.
Yeah, including you are or were an EMT.
This is breaking news just for you on your podcast.
Woo!
I'm going to tell you, 2 months ago, I quit my job and I work for a bunch of companies now and I do Instagram. That's what I do for a living, which is bananas. And I don't tell everybody that because you get two reactions. You get either people are really happy for you or they're like, I don't want to hear that. What are you talking about? They're not stoked for you. But yeah, I still have my paramedic license. I was a paramedic for 10 years. And I'll keep that license, because I worked hard to get it. And it's like a mechanic knows how to work on cars. I can always go get a job with that license if I want to. But this past year with COVID and everything, man, I was like, I'm ready to get out of here. And you're getting all these opportunities, like doing the Instagram and all these different doing commercials. I just filmed a national commercial, which I'm freaking out about. Like it's going to be on real TV, which is insane.
That wasn't the one with the vitamins, was it?
No,
okay.
It's for Bug Assault. Yeah, Bug Assault's doing, and it's their first commercial ever that they've had on real TV. So I feel very blessed to be in that position. And yeah, man, so that's it. I wake up whenever I want, Monday through Friday, and I go surf, and I make dumb videos. I love it. It's rad. Stoked. And I sell merch.
Yeah. And so how much time has gone by from, the 2 months ago when you're like, this is what I do full time? How much time from when you were like, I'm going to get serious about like just being like constantly on Instagram and making my videos, and then like that, and we'll kind of break down like, the in-betweens, but yeah.
So it's a couple of things. It's like a two-part answer. I thought I wanted to be a firefighter paramedic, and I got hired not once but 2 times, and I got fired from both those jobs.
Ooh.
and I was super depressed. Like I had two very small kids. This is in 2016, and I ended up working as a night janitor at an elementary school. And it was like the lowest point in my whole life. I'd just be mop, mop, mop all night long, just like cleaning toilets, doing everything. And I'd listen to podcasts all night long. And I started questioning everything about life, like full existential crisis the janitor is having at nighttime as I'm working.
Yeah.
And I do this for a year. And during that time, I'm like, I'm going to do what I love. I'm a comedian. So I sort of started messing around, like posting videos of me at night as a janitor, just being a weird janitor. And people were like, my friends were calling me like, are you okay? Are you losing your mind? And I was like, dude, I'm just being funny. And I had like 120 followers on Instagram. And then I was like, I don't need to keep being a janitor. I'm going to go back to working as a paramedic because the schedule is 10 days a month. You're on 24 hours and 48-hour shifts, but you got a lot of time to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so I started just making more and more videos, and the surf stuff just kind of came out because I surf, and people would pick up on little words I would say or things, and they'd be like, oh, this guy's like, it's like insider baseball. He's like making all these jokes about coastal California and about surfing. But what really happened was 2019, I remember the day, June 3rd, 2019, Kook of the Day, which just hit 1 million followers yesterday, last night or this morning, just got 1 million followers. Kook of the Day posted a video that I sent to them, and that just went like, and it exploded. So it's not even quite 2 years ago. What is it? A little over a year and a half. Yeah. That's when that all started. And then Surfer came from that. All these relationships that I have, everything came from that Kook of the Day. And yeah, that's my story.
So you never set out with this roadmap of like, how can I become an influencer on Instagram?
I hate that word, dude. I hate that word. But what happens is, it's really, once people start sending you free stuff, it's like, that's all I ever dreamed about was getting, like, as a kid, you see surfers that rip or pro skaters and they get all the clothes and they get, and I was just like, that's never going to happen for me. And it's just hilarious that at 41 years old, like a middle-aged dude, I literally, I don't know how many sponsors I have. The house is filled with just things. I give away so much stuff to people because that's all I ever wanted when I was a kid, was someone to give me stickers. If someone gave me a t-shirt, I'd be like, I can't believe I got a t-shirt. So the word influencer, whatever. If people think that's what I am, that's not what I'm going to continue to be. I assure you.
They'll call it something else in 6 months, but yeah.
It doesn't matter because what I am is like, I just starred in a commercial. I'm an actor. I'm a comedian. That's what I do. That's my skill set. Maybe one day I'll have a podcast. I don't know. I have a lot of stuff I can do. The funniest part about everything is, I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
And there's haters. Like in the beginning, people are like, you're not funny. And people are the worst. People say like, kill yourself. Don't keep doing this. Don't you do this? And I just keep going, watch me. And I just keep going and going. And I'm going to keep doing that. And I love it. And I've basically weeded out all the followers that are like, if they don't like you, it's like, you guys can just go away. And I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And I think COVID helped too, with everyone being locked inside with nothing to do.
A lot more rabbit hole trips,
The bar for entertainment was set very low, which probably contributed to my success.
Yeah, guys are doing the Daily Show and all those shows from like their living rooms, then yeah, why not?
Right.
Oh, I think maybe something I was going to say earlier about being from Michigan was that around here, like in the summertime, you go anywhere that's near Lake Michigan, and all of a sudden you feel like you're in Southern California because everybody's wearing surf stuff, like, you know, O'Neill or Quicksilver or, you know, whatever. And then, you know, maybe if you look hard, you might see like 3 people surf all summer long, and it's usually people that got a surfboard, didn't know what to do with it, tried for like 10 minutes, and were like, all right, we're done. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing to
Yeah.
me that the culture is that big. And even now the Hawaiian shirts that Peter was like, just you watch, buddy, this next season it's going to be all Hawaiian shirts. That's all you see anywhere now too, is people wearing Hawaiian shirts
Right.
and on the racks. So I don't know. It's weird to see that like slow filter over from what's cool on the West Coast, like right now, will be cool here in Michigan, like the next season or 2 seasons later.
I love it when that happens. I remember in like 2005 going to the Midwest, and like there were still dudes with mullets driving Trans Ams, and they had just got like the new Aerosmith record, and I was like, are we in a time machine? What is going on? But on the West Coast, this is just, it's the Californication, the LA thing. It's the hub where everything is, all the fashion, all the whatever's cool for the moment, and then it spreads.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course, like with the surf industry, I mean, I don't know if you know the state of the surf industry right now, but it's not very good. Like these brands got so big, right? So big, and they were bought by giant corporations. And there's some people that will tell you the worst mistake ever that these brands did was kind of leaving the beach, meaning
Mm,
leaving that core audience,
yeah.
because it's gotten further and further away. But everyone's attracted to this lifestyle, and that you can't blame them for it. You know, I was, before I ever surfed, I dressed like a surfer,
Yeah.
you know?
But you could at least, like you talked about in some of your videos, just show up at the beach and be like, hey, I look the part. I'm in California. Nobody's going to question me.
That's what most people do that say they're surfers. That's one of the things. That's what Kook of the Day is. We joke about it, but we all start somewhere. And I mean, like when I first started surfing, I didn't know what I was doing. I was on the completely wrong board, and I just liked holding the board and walking up and down the beach because I thought it would help me meet girls.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if we girls like surfers, I'll just pretend I'm a surfer. Well, and then eventually I found out I actually enjoyed the activity, not just the image. Yes.
Yeah. I enjoy it as much as somebody can, being that, like I said, I'm from Michigan. Then I lived in Florida when I was like 20, what was I, like from 21 to 25, 26. And I surfed there, but it was like northeast Florida near like the Georgia line. So there's only so
Hmm.
much surfing you can do. And like on a crazy day, the waves might be like waist high.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Well, it's not, you need a hurricane to get those
ooh,
waves, you
they're
know?
they always would show too. Those are the guys that would be the kook of the day now. The guys that would go out with their surfboards that never even have seen a wave that's over their head before, and they're like, "Hey, there's a tropical storm coming in. Why don't we go, get in the water?" And it's not even good waves on up there either. It's just slosh, just big
Right.
hills moving around. Yeah.
That
So
link though from surfing is, that's everyone I've met. It's funny because like the surf industry, they've been awesome. They've been really nice to me. But most of the people I work for and actually do work for, they are surfers, but their businesses have nothing to do with surfing. It's just the fact that they love to surf, I love to surf, and that's the starting point of your relationship because you share a love for this one thing. It's pretty cool.
yeah. Um. So one of your posts that I saw was of you in a student film. Was that correct? From back in the day?
Yes, yes,
Okay, so
yes.
had you pursued acting or stand-up comedy or anything like this prior to?
I did. I I was so stupid when I was younger, like so dumb. I had an awesome opportunity. I went to school freshman year, to college, and I was a really bad student. And I was like, I just want to be I want to be a comedian. I want to be an actor. I want to be that guy. I'm going to move to LA, and I'm going to get an agent. So I got a really good agent, like, and I was like, of course I did. Like, I'm 19. I'm really good at that. And totally didn't realize like not everyone can get a good agent. And I moved to LA, and I went on 6 auditions. I auditioned for a Pepsi commercial with Britney Spears. I didn't get it. I was very sad.
Brittany
I
got it.
auditioned for a Toys, but well, she was in it, and there was a guy. I was trying to
Oh,
be
you
the
were going
guy,
for the
but they
guy
didn't.
part. I get you. I get you.
Correct. So yeah, 6 auditions, didn't get anything, and I was like, this is a joke. I should have been cast after these 6 auditions, not knowing that like people people try for years to get anything,
Yeah.
and just being young and stupid, I just moved home. I ghosted my agent. I should call her right now, 20 years later, and just be like, hey, how's it going? Are you there, Sylvia? It's John. Do you remember me? But yeah, so I did. I tried, and I would always dip my toes in it. But the thing with me is like I grew up in a very religious family,
Mm.
and when I was with my friends, I would go off and like be really funny. I'd be funny around my parents, but I was always afraid. There was a lot of guilt associated with doing stand up and all these different things,
Yeah.
being in bars, drinking. Again, when I was 25, yeah, I did stand up for a minute. I loved it, but I just didn't lean into it. I did not do it. And that would have been the time to do it when you're young, you don't have children, follow your dreams, go for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you might end up, but it seems to be working out now, I guess. But I was much prettier back then. I was much better looking, and I miss my hair
You
and
know,
my face that I have them.
no, man,
No?
be
Okay.
proud. Be proud of it.
Let's do it.
There you go.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna
Woo!
if you're gonna make me feel comfortable, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I can be my true self. My little Yeah, there we go.
Oh, I got you
All
beat,
right.
man. Look at the back of mine.
Dude, it's a work of art. I love
know.
it.
I know.
Beautiful.
It's like my dad's, but he always kept his real short on the sides because he didn't want. I don't know. He just wanted it to be. He didn't want to acknowledge the fact that he was bald. I'm letting mine grow out for the first time in a long time, and you can't tell now because I've had the hat on, but it's like getting curly now, and it almost is
I
like
have the
starting to
same thing.
envelop the bald spot on the top.
I think it's really fun. I think it's funny. Like people are always like, "Why don't you just keep your head shaved?" I'm like, "No, I like the baldness. I'm a
Yeah.
married dude. I'm not out like look. I've been married almost 12 years. What do I care? I think it makes me look funnier, and anything that helps with the funny, I'm about it. No,
Yeah.
oh, you look like Bozo the Clown. Well, thank you. He was a funny guy.
Yeah. Somebody tried to make fun of me saying that I looked like that, but it was my wife. It was my wife that did it. She goes, "You look like Showbiz the Clown," and she started laughing. I was like, "Who?" The clown with the big red hair and was bald on top. And I was like, "You mean Bozo?" And
Showbiz.
she's
She
like,
doesn't even
"Oh, yeah, him." Like, yeah,
tell her to get her insults right before she starts throwing them out all willy nilly.
I know. Now, I'm curious about your wife's reaction to you getting heavy onto Instagram because I'm not super heavy on it right now. And my wife's like, "Are you Instagramming?"
Yeah, I mean, I post a lot of stuff of us like having actual fights and like me really getting in trouble because I just think it's hilarious and funny. Um, she over time is really starting to dig it, but now she's getting a little like too involved, and I'm like, hey, back off. You can start your own. You can make it the Gigi show. Her name's Gigi, but she's like, oh no, you should put me in. People love family stuff. Look how many views you get. And her head's getting a little big, and I don't like it. I don't like it. I want to be the star, not her. Not her.
She could maybe start her own line of videos where like she plays Fortnite and just talks trash to people, and kids love that.
I know.
My kids will watch
Dude,
that stuff for days.
This is what I'm saying. The funnest part about being live right now is there's so many stupid ways to make money. Like, there's an audience for anything.
Yeah.
Literally. Like, you can, if you just can figure it out, you can do it. You can do it. It's fun.
Yeah. Well, this kind of feeds into another question that I ask people too. So I'll just start with that one. Being that you kind of make your career on social media, you get a lot of comments, and in the episode with Peter, him and I were joking about like people that get truly upset by you, and I just maybe because like I know that you're being funny, but like, do some people genuinely think that you're just like being an asshole when you're like, oh, that teacher yelled at me for getting out of my car? Like,
Absolutely. Yeah, I get crazy messages
and
every day.
are they from
People,
people that like will repeatedly like watch your stuff and be like, why are you doing this? Or is it a lot of like one-offs that just don't understand?
a lot of it's one-offs that because you have if you put a hashtag in that just says surfing or
Yeah.
says cars or says the freeway, you just get people that come on and they see me and they don't know that I'm doing a character, that I'm doing this. And I think it's hilarious. I've learned to just laugh at it. In the beginning, like I said, I almost stopped in the beginning because some of the comments were so aggressive and people were so mean.
Yeah.
But I realized like don't read the comments or just realize that these are probably people 9 times out of 10, you go to their page and it's somebody who wants to do what you're doing. They're like, I want to be a comedy guy.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why are you tearing me down? And they're tearing you down because they wish they had your audience.
Mm,
So then it's like, or they don't think you're funny, which is fine. I don't like all the comedians out there. I don't like all types of music. We all have different opinions. But to take the time to type something and be a jerk, I never understood it. I don't personally do that to other people. So when they come at you, I've just learned like don't feed the trolls. And people have had to tell me over and over because I like to be liked. I want people to like me. So I'll like try to convert them.
I was gonna say I've
not
seen a couple of your comments,
yeah.
and I specifically remember. I think the last time I like really scrolled through the comments was the one where you're like, the teacher didn't shut the door on my car all the way, so I had to get out and shut it, and then I got yelled at like I was a child. And then people were like, "Hey, teachers do the best they can, man. You shouldn't talk shit about teachers right now." Like,
Yeah, that's not up. I took that one down.
are
See
you
that word?
serious?
That one I took it
My
down
God.
because I had a dude DM me. He goes, "You were the only reason I was on an Instagram. Way to go, making fun of teachers. Good luck. See you later." And that I was like, 65,000 people, and I'm concerned about one guy. Like that's how I'm wired up. And I'm like, I go to message him. Oh man, it was a joke. Like, oh yeah, you guys can make fun of cops all day long, tell them how they're awful and this, but teachers, don't talk about teachers. Yeah, because we all know teachers are all the same and work really hard. Shut up. It was ridiculous. But some
Yeah.
people really love that post. And sometimes it's fun to have people make comments. I don't care. And because I can always do this. This is the beauty of comedy. It may have been real. It may have not been real. I'm playing pretend all day long. So what you think is real probably isn't real. And I've said that over and over. I've gone 99% of what I do, it's made up. It's BS. It's not real. But people think it's real. So
Except when you shit your
I
pants.
don't
That
know.
was real, right?
That was real.
That was.
Yes. Very real.
Do you spend a
That
lot
happens multiple times a day, actually. I think I just
of
shot myself just now, actually.
oh.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm okay. We're
That's,
okay.
that's how you keep the kids to not boogie all the time. Dad, what's that?
True.
We'll get it
And
ourselves.
they
Never
won't get
mind.
close to me.
Uh, okay. So you before doing all the Instagram stuff, there was kind of a common thread to a lot of these jobs that you were doing where it was all public service related. Where does that come from? Was that something instilled in you? Was that something that you picked up on your own, or was it just kind of like you did the job one time with the EMT thing and you'd like the adrenaline, or what?
No, it starts with my family. All my uncles, my grandpa, my dad, they're all cops and firefighters. And I grew up around the military, around firearms. My name is John Wayne Freeman. That's my real name. My dad named me John Wayne. And those are the movies he watched all the times, westerns. I'm the only boy in my family. I have two older sisters. I'm the only Freeman boy that can carry on the name. So I grew up with this like, you're going to be a masculine man and you go into a government job and that's what you do. You work there 20, 30 years and then you retire. And I just told myself like, That's what I'm going to do. So I was an ocean lifeguard. I joined the Navy. I was a firefighter. I know. I was a paramedic.
I was in the
a
Navy too.
cop.
That's why that one really got me.
Were you?
Yeah.
Seaman Freeman right here, baby.
Seaman Freeman.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's the worst.
Yeah. I was a police officer. I just did all this stuff. The joke is like, you're the village people, John. Like, I should just become a biker. Like, yeah, I did all these jobs, but I wasn't any good really at any of them because like there was my passion. It's not what I really wanted to do is what I'm doing now. And I realized finally late in life when I was a janitor, 37 years old, I was like, hey, I'm wired differently.
Yeah.
I'm not a Navy SEAL. I can't do that. I don't have the mind for that. I'm not a firefighter. I don't even like fire. It's terrifying. I don't want to. What am I doing? Like, I think I just like wearing the uniforms. I like I like the shiny badges. And then once I started being myself, it was so freeing. And then now I hang out with all these people that do those jobs and I have great relationships with them because I know who I am. I'm all comfortable in my own skin now. And I bring my service, my act of service is bringing people smiles and bringing people joy. And I love doing it. Nothing feels like work that I do. And it's the best thing in the world. And I want everyone to be able to find and be able to do what they love because it's great.
Yeah.
And it's don't like, there's still parts of me, like that are attracted to those things, but maybe it's the testosterone's gone down as it got older. I don't feel the need to try to prove myself in those occupations. And I learned a lot. You learn a lot being a cop. You learn a lot being a paramedic. You learn a lot in a firehouse. And that's all transitioned to, again, relationships and forming relationships with people, being professional. Even though I'm super goofy and I always look disheveled, there's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got kicked out of the Navy, by the way. I should preface that.
Oh,
yeah.
One of my best friends did too. Yeah. I made it through without getting into too much trouble, but I ended up actually serving in some places where even if you wanted to do stuff to get kicked out, it would have been pretty hard.
I got the old heave ho. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it or not really?
I've never talked about it on a podcast, and it's I think the story itself is it's worth like an entire podcast. And if I ever do my own podcast, I'm gonna share it then. It's a bad story and it's a wonderful story and it's out of control. But we can talk about it at another time if you like.
Okay.
I don't really want to get into it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, when I come out there and you and Peter can teach me how to surf for real sometime, because I told him I'm that guy that like never takes his back knee all the way off the board.
Yeah, that's all right. That's how everyone like they stand up and they leave the back knee. A lot of people do that.
Yeah. It's really just, I think, embarrassing for surfing as a whole the way that I surf. So it's probably a good idea that my board has mostly been a prop. I used to teach middle school for a couple of years before my wife just refused to stop having children. And so that board
middle school teacher.
Yeah.
That's gnarly, dude.
Yeah. At a charter school downtown Grand Rapids where I think it was 100% free lunch. So there was a lot of kids that had stuff going on outside of school, made trying to teach interesting. But I would keep that that surfboard right up next to the chalkboard or the whiteboard or whatever board we had up there. And kids would love it. But the funny thing was all the kids that I was always like, don't touch my stuff over here. You guys can look at it, but don't touch it. And then the kids who would always like touch it anyway, they would always go up to the board and start scratching the wax off. And you can see a ton of little lines where there's this scratch wax. And they go, what is that? And I go, oh, that's the wax that I would put my bare feet on so I wouldn't slip off. And then they'd go, ugh! And they start freaking out, realizing that they had some essence of my bare feet stuck under their fingernails.
Yeah, no one wants that.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure I over waxed it. I was like a. Have you ever seen what was the movie Surf Ninjas?
Of course.
Dude,
Absolutely, I've seen Surf Ninjas.
I was like Rob
Yeah.
Schneider, so I would be the guy that's like, "Hey, let's all go surfing, guys," and then sit there and wax the board. And then as soon as everybody runs out, I'm like, "Hey, let's go!" Oh, we're done now. Oh, shoot, I just got my board all waxed up.
That's okay.
Yeah, you got to
All
start
right.
somewhere.
That's right.
I want to bounce back to the Instagram videos again and just ask you, how much time goes into like production? Because you keep it pretty simple, but do you stop and go, okay, I've got some ideas that I can do, or does it like when you have an idea, you just turn it on and go?
Yeah, I'm pretty impulsive. There's very little thought, which can be awesome and not so awesome. If you follow my page, like I put stuff up all the time and pull it right down. But it's sometimes there'll be like 2,000-3,000 people see it, and I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have, or that didn't come out the way, or you thought at the time it was a good idea. But yeah, like I said, my least favorite thing is to sit down and edit. But what I've learned is this: when you make these videos, it's not about how polished it is or how slick it is. It's about the content. It's about the person. Because
Yeah,
I see people that like you can tell they spend a lot of money just making these like incredible videos. Nobody watches them
yeah,
because either A, they're not entertaining, they're just not good in front of the camera. And then you get another guy that like is just a funny human, and that's 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 where it's at. You got to have some sort of I feel like something that connects with people.
yeah,
But the material just could come from anywhere. I'm just going down the street and I'll see something or hear something, and then I'll just get this spark or an idea, and I'll go, oh, that's a good video. And I have it to a formula now where I know from how many views I get with the amount of likes that I get if it's like a winner.
yeah.
And I really do. And occasionally I'll do something that I'm like, I love it. Other people don't love it. I don't care. I'm just leaving it there. That's hilarious. I don't know why you guys didn't enjoy that, but I did. So I'm leaving that one there for me. And yeah, dude, I don't know, like when we go like Peter and Surfer Magazine, that was amazing because you go out and you shoot all day, film all this stuff, and then there's all these dudes that are getting paid to edit it. And I always felt bad for them. I'm like, these poor guys got to watch hours of my stupid face saying all this stuff, but that's their job, and apparently they enjoy it. So I'm stoked there's people that do that.
So is it
That's
just
what's hard, dude. Like, go ahead.
no? Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Well, I was just gonna say, like people are always like, why don't you have a YouTube show? And I'm like, because I'm lazy. Like, I don't want to do it all myself, which is what you have to do. Like,
Yeah,
if you're gonna do it, and you know, YouTube makes me so angry sometimes. I see these families or just these ridiculous things that have massive audiences, and I'm like, how do you have a massive audience? This is complete garbage. But the
yeah.
truth is, complete garbage sells. Remember, Creed sold 13 million albums. Creed? Yeah. And nobody will admit that they bought an album, but 13 million people did. And we see horrible music and they're multimillionaires. We see horrible shows. The one thing that kills me though, dude, is people that exploit their kids. And they'll say they won't. Oh,
Yeah.
my 5-year-old wants to be on this show. Oh, does he? You're his mom and dad. Of course he's going to say yes. He's 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. We oh man. I feel like you, me, and Peter should all just like hang out in one of our garages and drink beer sometime. Because we were talking about this too, like the what is it, Ryan's World. That kid is like one of the top 5 earners on YouTube, and he's like 8.
Yep.
And
And
are there
has-
laws? Are
he
there
has-
laws that protect him that
Hey.
says, well, he can only shoot so many hours a week, like they can if he's on a movie set?
I'm just going to go ahead and say this. Ryan has no personality. I've watched that kid. That's about the extent of his talent. He can open something. He can open a present. And you hit on it, Dad. Congratulations. Dad knows how to film. Dad knows how to edit. He has that skill set. And other children like watching other kids open presents. Wow,
Yeah,
and
they do.
getting free stuff and opening toys. But that kid, you're just like, this is your golden goose. This kid, he's a weak kid. He's lame. I'll say it, Ryan. I hope you hear this, dude. But you got time. You got years. Maybe you'll develop a personality. And congratulations on your success.
You
Jerk.
wonder though,
I'm just
like
kidding.
if it'll be worse than the kids that grew up like on movie sets and TV sets, or better, or if it won't be any different at all, because that kid's already going to grow up being like, I don't know, how do you beat what you did when you were 8 years old? And is that going to stick with you in your mind the rest of your life? Like, I'm never going to top what I did when I was in first grade.
Yep. Yeah. Have you ever heard of the two Corys? Ever heard of child actors? Like, it happens all the time. When you peak when you're 10, it's tough, man. It's tough. It's crazy though. This day and age, this is a nuts thing. So like, I knew a few years back when I saw everybody like this all day, every day, I was like, huh, like if I could just get into their little camera right there,
Yeah.
their little TV, this is the TV. This is the TV. That's what you have to learn. Like, TV's not what it was.
Right.
And when I go out and I'm walking around, it's bonkers. It's almost like I am on a sitcom in the 90s. Like, people come up and they're like, hey, you're the guy from the internet. And I'll be like, yeah. And then their wife will be like, who's this guy? The man will be like, oh, he's internet famous. And she'll be like, I've never heard of him. They'll say it like right in front of me. I'm like, it's okay. It's not that good of stuff anyways.
They'll talk about you like you're actually on the phone, not right there. I don't like it.
Yeah. And all the kids want to be YouTubers and they want to do all this stuff. But yeah, God, I mean, cool. You can do it all from the comfort of your own home. And now it's amazing. There's no gatekeepers. There's not. Yeah. You don't have to go get an agent now. You don't have to do any of that. It's the coolest thing.
Yeah. Well, and it takes a certain kind of weirdo. And I say this about you and me, so I'm not saying it in a negative way.
No, it's true.
Like, I quit teaching with the idea that I'd probably go back to it at some point, but then I started writing a book, and then I was like, hey, read this book. And my wife was like, hey, that's really good. Show it to people. And I showed it to people. They're like, hey, that's really good. You should try to get it published. And then I started trying to get it published, and somebody was like, hey, come talk about it on my podcast. And then they're like, you should start your own podcast. And now I'm doing all kinds of weird stuff, talking to all kinds of cool people. And it all started with just this idea that's like, I actually said, I'm not going to go back to teaching. I'm just going to try to pursue this creative thing. And like, my parents were like, that's the stupidest thing you've ever said. And you've said a lot of stupid stuff, Chris. And just about everybody, with the exception of my wife, was like, that's a bad idea. But now, like, I don't make a ton of money off this podcast, but I've gotten free food. I've gotten free products. I got my car jumped ahead of 150 people at the service center because I said, hey, I've got a podcast and I'll do a free ad read for you guys if you get this done today. And they said, okay.
It's
so
amazing,
anybody out there,
dude.
if you're wondering why I only did one ad read for a car dealership, that's why.
So it's funny. Again, the opportunities that it opens up for you can just be amazing. And my wife, like your wife, if she didn't allow me to be who I am, like, none of this would be happening. The moment she gave me permission was like this huge weight off of me. And I just went, I love you so much. Thank you for letting me be me and live my life and do all this, because that's like, it like fills your soul with energy if you have a good partner that allows you to do what you want to do. And she had heard me talk about doing all this stuff for so many years, and she just goes, to do something, do it. You talk about it all the time, go do it, it. Like, kind of like challenging me. And I was finally like, really? Is it okay? Do I have permission? And yeah,
I like that. I'm imagining your wife like pushing you in the chest across the dining room. Do it, you big man. You gonna do it?
No, she would literally like that. Like you talk a big game. You think you're so funny. Prove it. And I was like, all right.
That sounds like a wife thing to say.
Yeah, you see people on Instagram or you see people on YouTube and they're making millions of dollars, and I'm like, I don't think that person's very talented. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I could do a better job. And she would just be like, well, then show me what you got. So that's where we're at.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It has been thrown. Yeah.
I like your wife, man. She sounds cool from just the little bit I know of her. But
She's
yeah,
super cool. Yeah, she's rad.
yeah, it's cool to have a partner like that. Exactly what you said. I'm not going to say it all over again, but yeah, my wife was very much. She could have been
She's
like,
right here.
"Hi, sweetie."
She's right here. I'm holding a picture of my lovely wife. Yep.
I've actually got a picture of mine right here too. We got the
Oh,
whole
let's
family.
let's compare wives. There they are. Hi, there's the family. Oh, beautiful. Are you guys on a hiking trip in that one?
There's the wife right there. Yeah. Yep.
Where are you guys?
I'm trying to
On a
remember
mountain?
there. We've got no, it's in the woods of Michigan somewhere.
Mm.
Might have been one of the cool hikes over by like Lake Michigan, the Sleeping Bear Dunes area, which I don't know if you know much about the Sleeping Bear Dunes, but it was ranked, I think Time Magazine ranked it like the most beautiful place in America.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's
if you're ever
awesome,
looking for
man.
a beautiful place to visit, Sleeping Bear Dunes National Lakeshore in Michigan is amazing.
Radical. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I know a lot of people that I grew up with came from Michigan, Minnesota, all the Great Lakes areas. I remember a lot of kids that would move to California in school. I
Yeah.
always heard Michigan.
Well,
You know?
they all had the right idea. My sister and my sister and my brother-in-law are both, from the same town in Michigan, and now they live in San Francisco.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
So
Dude, that's not cheap. That city is not cheap. I hope
no,
they have a good job.
um, she's a administrator, and uh, he used to work at Lucasfilm. He's a special effects guy, but now he works for Apple, and I'm not sure exactly what he does for Apple.
Ooh, I know a guy who's working on the new man, it's not the man, the Bubba Fett, whatever, right now.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
on
yeah.
he's yeah,
Wait,
and
they're doing a
he
Boba
made
Fett spinoff?
mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
did not know that.
It's
I thought
called
they put a freeze on
the
all the
Bubba.
spinoffs.
No, no, no. They're doing it. They're filming it.
Huh.
Yep. Star
That's badass.
Wars yesterday was May the 4th be with you. That's a little insider baseball nerd info for anyone if you were interested.
And today is Revenge of the Fifth.
Is that's they don't say that. Do they say that?
Yeah, because
Wow.
well, I mean, it's not an original trilogy reference, Revenge of the Sith, but it is technically a thing.
Dude, do you know what somebody said to me yesterday? And I had to walk away. They
Go fuck
gave me the
yourself.
old
No, sorry.
that's every day. People yell that at me a lot, especially if you're filming yourself. Mostly from passing vehicles. And
I
they
was
say
gonna.
other stuff. No,
I can
he gave me
imagine.
the old I'm I'm more of a Star Trek guy. I don't like the the Star Wars. I like Star Trek, and I was just like I've never understood the Star Trek, so I had to walk away.
I never got really big into Star Trek, except when I was in middle school. They had The Next Generation would always come on like 5 minutes after I got off the bus, and it was like that.
Will Wheaton, you're my hero, Will.
Will
Yes.
Wheaton, yeah.
Will Wheaton. What a guy. What a fantastic actor.
So I got a little bit into the new generation, or the next. See, I'm not that into it. The Next Generation, but yeah, if I had to pick one to defend in my nerddom, it would probably be Star Wars.
Yes. Yes, me
I'm
too.
not on the hate train though with all the new movies. Um, Probably because I have a daughter. My oldest kid is a freshman in college, and she really likes all the new Star Wars stuff. She's like, "This is like, my generation's shit." So, people that are millennials and beyond complain because they like the old stuff, but I try to give the new stuff its time to sink in and see how it sits.
Yeah. I'm the same way. I'm enjoying the Star Wars movies. Why not? Why
Yeah,
not? They're fun. It's a good time.
yeah. Um, brr. What else should we talk about? Anything? Should we talk about Talega? Oh,
What do you
the other thing I do remember, and this is so stupid that it's coming to me now. The thing I was going to say about now that we're in Michigan is I just saw for the first time a billboard for a Sprinter van, and when I saw it, I thought of you.
Yeah. You should explain what Talega is. When he's saying Talega, Talega is a like incredibly master planned community that is a very, very expensive place to live.
Yeah.
And if you can even get in and purchase a home, it's going to take you a long time to pay it off unless you're really rich and you can just buy it. But the fun part is for the entire time that you live in one of those communities, you are going to have almost $1,000 extra a month on top of your mortgage because of homeowners association fees, Mello-Roos. Everything looks so perfect and manicured because it costs so much to take care of. And they have all the cool pools and they have all that stuff, but you pay for it and it never goes away. So that's the place I always joke about, because there's just a lot of wealth and it's fun to make fun of rich people.
Yeah.
To me. Well,
and anytime there's a community, like my mother-in-law, she lived in a bigger house. My wife was the fifth of 6 kids. And then when all her kids moved out, she sold it to one of her kids and got a condo. But this condo has like standalone houses and stuff in it. And their homeowners association is very strict. And to the point that like somebody will come and knock on your door if you like have kids' toys in your yard. They're like, you need to pick this up in the next 12 hours or you're going to get a written notice.
The amount of stuff that your neighbors care about is just unreal. Like living in any neighborhood, I'm constantly just amazed. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Does that bother you? Oh, there's that little spot of oil on my driveway. Does it bother you? You want me to rub it out so that you have a better day so that you can go on with your life? But I have this theory. When people are at home, that's where they're really themselves. Yeah. They're not at work where they have to put on this mask and pretend all day. And you really see people's true colors. My neighbor right now, and I do not care what people do unless it's like totally crazy. Like you set up a dirty couch on your driveway and you're shooting up or something, and my kids are watching you. But the neighbor right now has 2 giant palm trees that are completely overgrowing into my yard, and I haven't said anything to her, even though she's the type of lady who will tell me everything that she doesn't like about my house and things need to get done. Because if I say it to her, she will explode. She's one of those people who will turn it and make it about me. What I'm trying to say is my neighbor's not a good human. So I might just run over there after this with some clippers. Because again, I don't have a day job, so I can go next door and just start clipping those things.
Yeah. And then she comes home, you say, there was a gang of angry kids with lawn tools and they're just cutting everything.
But do you know what our rule is in our house? This is my wife's rule. It's not my rule. She says we're Amsterdam or we're Sweden. We're neutral, right? We don't pick battles. We try to get along with everybody in the neighborhood because we've watched other neighbors go to war with each other, and we just sit back. And so we never, like, there's things people have done where I'm like, I'm about to lose my mind, but you just come in the house, start doing some deep breathing, and we go, all right, we're Sweden. We're neutral. We don't have a standing army or whatever. Who are they? Is it Amsterdam? I don't know. But that's what we are in the neighborhood.
Switzerland? No,
Switzerland.
They've got Swiss Army.
Switzerland.
Swiss Army knives?
They have Swiss Army. They all carry Swiss Army knives. That's what they do.
That's their military defense. Everybody get your knives out.
It's their main weapon. Everyone gets issued a Swiss Army knife. And you can open a can of tuna with it or cut something.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have one of the cool ones with the actual scissors in it until I was much older. And then I lost that. So
dang. I like the tweezers. The tweezers are always helpful.
Oh yeah, but those ones they would pull out and it was like its own thing, and it just had like a little sleeve it went back into, right?
It slides in the side and you just pull it out. It's got the sweet little tweezers. Yeah.
Yep. So when you're camping, if you're like barefoot and you get a little slivy, then you need to get it out.
That's it. Yes, sir.
Well, do you have any advice to people who either want to do kind of what you do on Instagram or just have kind of an idea in their head, but they're not sure what to do about it? And no, everyone's like, no, man, just take the safe option. What do you say to that?
I say don't take the safe option. Life's too short not to follow your passions and your dreams. When you're starting out with social media, avoid politics and religion. I mean, you can drop stuff in now later on or say it in a certain way, but you're going to alienate a lot of your audience because people just really, really like, it's like they love you 1 second and then you have a different political belief and they hate you now, or they'll just go away. So I
Yeah.
would just stick, well, unless that's what you want to do, you want to go, into that realm. I would say lean into your strengths, know what you're good at. A lot of people, uh, have this idea that there's something that maybe they're not. Whether they think they're a great musician, and you're like, I get a lot of people that like send me stuff and they're like, hey man, will you post this for me, bro? Like spread the word about my music, about my lyrical genius. And you're like, I don't think you got it, buddy. I'm glad it makes you happy. So know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and love everybody, man. Like for real. Like when you meet people, be gracious, be kind, and create good relationships. And the fun thing about comedy, if you choose to do that, is it makes people feel good. So when you meet them in person, they like smile and they want to meet you, and that's really nice. But like you were saying, when you stopped teaching, or when I left my job,
Mm.
um, there's something that happens, dude. All the good stuff is on the other side of fear. You're afraid that you're going to lose your insurance, that you're not going to have enough money. But things happen, dude. I'm telling you, I don't want to get weird. I don't want to say the universe comes into the place, but you'll get
Oh no, dude,
you'll have an
I get
intuition.
woo woo with it too. Like, because I feel
Yeah.
like more stuff has happened to me in the last year and a half. Just meeting interesting people, connecting with people on things that I didn't even know I would do, getting paid to do stuff that I didn't think I'd get paid to do. You know what I mean? Like just all starting from just putting both feet in and telling people like, this is me, this is what I do, and not just keeping it like a hobby. But
because you took a risk. Like look, I'm not a stand-up comic. I'm not on a TV show. I'm not all these things that like I thought a comedian is, but I just told myself literally, I'm like, I'm a comedian. I'm a genius. I'm a comedic genius. I'll repeat that in my head 20 times a day. I will. I'll tell myself that, because why not? This is what I love doing. And you tell it, the world starts to believe it, doors start to open, but you got to take that step. And if you have an idea, the value of an idea lies in its use. For years and years and years, I have all these ideas floating in my head and I do nothing. I just go to bed at night, I wake up, and I don't put any of these ideas to use. Nobody's any different than anybody else. We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses. Everything you see that's been built was done by a human brain. Everything that's been created was done by a human brain.
Mm.
If other people figured it out, you can figure it out. It's there for the taking right now, and life is too short. As long as you're not jeopardizing, the health of your family, or you like, oh, we're not gonna be able to put food on the table, but I'm gonna be the next Axl Rose. Don't be stupid. Have common sense, and if you get to the point where you're making as much money doing your side project or your side gig as you were at your day job, well, then maybe you can sit down with the people in your life and have a talk about doing it full time, And I don't know where this is going to go, but it's so fun and it's so exciting. And I have a vision for myself. And you can listen to people tell you can't do it, and you can either stop and quit, or you can take it and use it as fuel and laugh. And
Yeah.
that's what I do. I go, watch me. And my hang up was, I'm too old. I was like, my dreams are finished. I'm 37 years old.
I'm past
It's
28.
over.
I'm just
I've
waiting
been-
to die now.
That's it. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't be a stand-up comedian because I can't go out every night because I have kids. So
Yeah.
I went, well, what can I do? What is the fastest way to get to as many people as I can? How can I have the broadest reach? And that for me was Instagram or YouTube. I knew that's what it would be. So figure out what you want to do, set a course of action, and just keep plugging away. Just burp, burp, burp. You just keep doing it. And this is another thing too. If you're going to do Instagram or YouTube, dude, people freak if you communicate with them. I talk to everybody. I
Yeah.
talk to everybody so that they know you're a good guy. So many people aren't good people that are doing this. They're terrible humans. Whether they're just some chick posting pictures of her butt, or some dude who just is shirtless, or some like whatever they
Or
are.
they
A lot of people
follow
aren't
20,000 people, wait to see who follows back, and then unfollows all of them to make it look like they've got a huge organic following.
Yeah, there's dude, and that's another thing too. Creating a real audience of real people. There's a theory that 1,000 true followers. Have you ever heard that?
Mm-mm.
If you have 1,000 people that will listen to your podcast every week, buy any piece of merch you drop, read any book you write, follow you, they're true fans. They love what you do. You can make a living doing that. It only takes 1,000. Now imagine if you have 5,000, 10,000, but they need to be real. So many of the things you see, oh, they have a huge audience. It's not real. It's not a huge audience. They're not going to buy anything those people put out. They're not going to follow them anywhere. Those people are just, they have this facade.
Yeah.
So you get real followers by being real and authentic and talking about real things, and also taking the time to talk to people. If someone sends you a message, write them back. Why not? They took the time. And it feels nice. It feels good to do. And they feel happy about it. And then they'll stick around and watch what you do next.
Doesn't that get hard to do, though, at 65,000 plus? Like, when you say, you go to bed, you wake up the next day, you have breakfast, whenever it is the first time that you pull up Instagram and you hit that little heart button, like, how many notifications does somebody with a following your size have after, like, 12 hours of inactivity?
So many. So many. And it's a blessing and it's awesome. I need to be better about scheduling. Like, I don't. I just have this thing with me all day, and it's not the healthiest thing.
I was going to say, do you check your screen time, like how much time you spend on your camera and on?
Dude,
don't want to know.
Dude, it's so, you don't even want to guess. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. Worse than a 7th grade girl's like internet habit. 100%. It's terrible.
But is it less than 40 hours a week?
No. It's over 40 hours. I think.
Is it?
I see what you're saying there.
I'm trying to say
that kind of makes me feel
when you put it all together, right? Like somebody's like, dude, you spent 38 hours on your phone this week. It's like you spent 45 at the office.
That's another thing though, dude. Everything eventually becomes a job, no matter how fun it is.
Yeah.
It's still work. The trick is to make it feel like it's not.
I was what do you do when you're just having a bullshit day and you're like, I got to post something? Do you just lean into like, I feel like shit and say, start trashing something or what?
That's the thing that like, I've met a couple people. The greatest compliment you could give me is, wow, dude, I cannot believe you post every day. How do you keep coming up with different ideas? Because a lot of people I'm like, do you guys see what I'm giving you? I'm not charging you anything. I'm doing this for free, baby. And I just keep pushing out content. And people like in the beginning would say to me, you're going to run out of ideas. And I go, I never run out of ideas. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm going to do. You don't know where I'm going to go. Yeah. This is what I love doing. I could do this all day, every day. I love making you laugh. I have so many ideas. So the key for me is going to be scheduling, which I haven't been at my day job for 2 months. And I'm kind of like, it's not good. I need to you wake up at 6, John, you exercise, you sit down, you answer emails. I need to treat this more like a job. There you go.
One thing that I do is I wear shoes. For some reason, I'm like 5 times more productive if I act like I'm going somewhere, because you can't see it right now, but I've just got a big writing desk and a folding table next to that with like writing supplies, because that's what I do when I'm not doing this. Is I got a novel that I'm trying to get published now, and I write blogs for people and that kind of thing.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know.
Can I ask what's the theme of the novel you're writing?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm writing another one now, but the one that I'm trying to get published is about a kid named Kurt Stevens back in 1996. He's between 8th and 9th grade, first day of summer. And then all of a sudden there's this military-style airstrike, and him and his friends all run into the woods. And then they find out that the attack is from people from the future that are trying to get back into the past. Because in this book, it's a time travel book. When you travel, say John Wayne Freeman wants to go back to when he was 15, you'll go back to
Yes,
that year.
please.
You'll go back to that year, but you'll be in that body, and that kid who was 15 will switch places and then go into your body now. Weird. And then in the
Wow,
future,
dude.
so when those kids go to the future, it's like just all hell has broken loose. There's a parasite that's killing everybody, and it's hellish, nightmarish thing, and it's just a battle for them to try to not get stuck in that place.
That's pretty cool, man. I like
Yeah.
it. Sounds awesome.
Yeah,
That's right.
it sounds cool to everybody but literary agents.
Dude, props to you for even being in that world. Writing is truly a discipline, and it's a lot of hard work. And then if you ever get anything published, that's a huge accomplishment in itself.
Yeah. Well, one of the guests that I had on this show actually recently was like, "Hey, you know what? I know you've been getting frustrated that your book's not going anywhere. Send it to my publisher." And so she put in a good word because she had read the book and was like, "Yeah, this is good. Send it to my publisher. I'll let them know it's coming." So fingers crossed.
Good. Fingers crossed. Yes.
And then I'll send you a free copy. You know what? No, you know what? You pay for it. You pay for it, John.
Okay, I'll pay for it. I will pay for it.
You don't have to pay for it.
I will.
I would
Hard work should be rewarded.
I would insist that you pay for it and that you buy more than one copy if you didn't come on the show. But since you did, it's only a fair trade.
I like what you
tit
did
for
there.
tat. A little. You scratch my
Well
back,
played.
and I'll give you a book.
Yes. I apologize for being maybe hungover on your podcast. Maybe not. I don't know. That's up for the listener to decide. Was John hungover? Was his brain firing on all cylinders? Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say.
Well, the last California surfer
find
guy was actively getting drunk on the podcast, so this is a step up.
Yeah, that'll happen. Surfers do that. They're also known to smoke a little bit of the herb every now and then. You know what I'm saying?
Which brings me to my proud sponsor, Fresh Coast Seed Company.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. They, if anybody is looking for really good seeds, go to Fresh Coast Seed Co. on Instagram.
What kind? What kind of? Is it like a fruit tree it grows, or is it bananas? Is it avocados? What kind of seeds are we talking about here?
I mean, there are some fruity smells associated with some of them. But,
I get it. Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah. No, medical
Understood.
marijuana,
Oh,
cannabis. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
heard of that stuff. I personally, not me, buddy. I'm straight edge. I'm a straight edge guy.
You're high on life, and that's how it's got to be.
Absolutely. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, man. It was really nice talking to you. I don't think not like I have a whole bunch of stuff written down here anyway, just a couple of bullet points, but I think I'm just about out of it, man. So if there's anything that you want to leave people with, like where they can catch you, what kind of fun stuff you got coming up soon.
My Instagram is my home base. My name is Jonathan Wayne Freeman. If you are listening to this, I would really appreciate if you would follow my page. And there's hours and hours of things to watch on there that hopefully bring you joy and laughter. That's where you can find me. And if I'm doing anything else, I usually talk about it on there. And in the future, I'm going to become extremely successful. So if you are in the future and you're listening to this, I told you so.
Awesome. Well, we'll have that link up too if anybody didn't catch it in the show notes, so that people will find you. If they don't already know, they will know soon.
I'm stoked. Thank you so much for having me on, and it was a pleasure, dude. And I wish you continued success in the future, and I'm so stoked that you're doing what you love, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. It really is. Again, no days promise. This is from being a paramedic and seeing a lot of people die. You just sort of get to the point where you're like, maybe I should just make videos on Instagram and live my best life, or whatever people say. Yeah. And I'm not a businessman, but I'm starting to figure it out. I'm not a producer. I'm not a director. I don't know what I am, but all I know is I told myself I was this thing, and it's working, or it seems to be. And if I can do it, you can do it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
No matter how old you are. Don't get stuck on the I can't do it because I'm too old, because the truth is, um, the time's never going to be right, ever. You just do what you do, what you can do best, and you keep putting your one foot in front of the other every day, going after what you want, and good things will happen. And make good decisions, man. Like all these things that you have, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's anything that slows you down, you really need to figure out what's keeping you from firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
And if you can mitigate that, and you can get support from the people around you that want you to, again, cliche, but live your best life, you'll be good. It's good. This is the wild, wild west, baby. Right now, the internet, podcasting, Instagram. There's always things popping up, and it's a new world. You can make your own way, and it's the raddest thing ever. So go for it. Go for it.
I like it, man. That's what we'll end on then. All right. Thank you, everybody. Go check this guy out. He is hilarious.
Thank you. I was a real pleasure. I just said I was a real pleasure. I meant it was a real pleasure. I was really cocky on this podcast, and I don't normally sound like this. I'm just feeling today. I think I read too many comments, so I'm trying to self-talk. I'm trying to be like, yeah, it's okay, John. You're a good guy. You're funny. Don't believe the people that say you're not. It's all right. It's okay.
You're good enough. You're smart enough. And doggone it, people like you.
Gosh, people like you. That's right, dude.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, man. I hope you have a great day. And when you finish it, shoot it my way, and we'll throw it up there and hopefully bring you some new followers.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll see.
Or
we'll see if you don't
whatever.
have all Russian bots following you or not.
Dude, I woke this morning. There was like 30 comments that are just like about investment. Jerry told me to invest here, and then there's like these fake people replying, and I'm just like, go somewhere else. Why are you here?
Yep, you gotta love the weird, random, spammy comments, and then on Instagram too, all the sugar mamas who just slide into your DMs and are like, "Hey, 0 posts, 900 followers." Like what?
Dude, yeah, those are bizarre.
So bizarre. I want to get one of those girls on my show sometime and be like, how do you make a living on Instagram without posting anything? And do you actually make a real living, or is this just something people do for like 5 months and then go, this is going nowhere?
It's not a real human. There's no way. It lives in a computer somewhere. Oh, I got a violation, dude, yesterday. Like a community guidelines violation. Like, that's another thing. When you're on a platform, like, they could just say bye-bye anytime and shut all that work you did just out the window. So that's something to consider. You could be canceled literally any moment.
And Twitter too. There was a novelist who wanted to publish some stuff that he had written like back and forth on a Twitter thread with another writer, and then when they went to publish it, Twitter was like, we own that. Wow.
Bizarre. Yeah, because you signed something.
Yeah,
so
it's somewhere in the 80,000 words terms of use policy.
What did you do to make sure you own your podcast? What did you like physically fill out or do, or you just own the domain? Is that what it is?
I don't even really know 100% how that works because
Squadcast owns you, bro.
Well, Squadcast might own me right now, but the Squadcast account is through my producer. He's not really my producer. I call him my technical manager or whatever. He was the guy that originally set me up with everything and then got me to where I could do it out of my own basement with my laundry in the background. But, if you had been in Michigan, which, we tried to send you a private jet, then we would have been in a studio and you wouldn't have had to look at my kids' undies in the background.
It would have been so rad. I could have taken a picture in front of the private jet and then showed it to everybody about how I'm killing it at life. Like, what a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
It is the jet from the original Major League movie. Did you ever see that?
Yeah.
The one with the taped on propeller? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hey, let me ask you a question real quick. What you think of this? there's here in the town I live in, this dude set up a studio that's like you can pay for time and all the cameras are in it. It's beautiful. It's like a setup podcasting thing behind the glass. They're in there. They'll edit. They'll flip the cameras. They'll do everything. And they said I could do it if I, like what you said, in exchange for them doing that, as long as I just promote them because they want business.
Yeah.
And I thought that's a good idea for a lazy person.
That is a good idea. And you don't even have to do any work for them, because the company who's like, I'm using their Squadcast stuff and I'll use their editing software to filter everything out. So if there is noise in the background, you wouldn't be able to hear it, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Those guys, they do all that kind of stuff too. And usually people pay for their services and all the same kind of stuff you were talking about. I just mention them on my podcast, but then I also an employee, and I write blogs for some of their podcasts that they produce. But as far as their podcasting stuff goes, they don't, at least with mine, I don't think it's the same way with anybody else's. They don't want any ownership. They're just about like putting out a good product and getting people kind of networked together.
I go back and forth between, because there's so many podcasts. It's like, do you want to be the host?
800,000 of them in America?
Yeah, and there's like 2 people I know that can pull off the doing it by themselves, you know?
Yeah.
Where kind of maybe like Bill Burr, maybe Chris D'Elia, like those guys. And I just wonder, I'm like, could I do it by myself, or is it better to have something like where we're like,
there's no limit on how long they have to be either. You could put one out every Monday and Thursday and they could be 10 to 15 minutes long each.
Right. That's true.
You don't have to sit and rant for 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
I don't want to. I don't think. It's a good point. But it's like you have to have like an angle. Like, oh, I talk about the news of the day. We tell stories about our, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you should have some kind of something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could interview the people that are caught on Kook of the Day. I don't know.
Yeah, we've gone back and forth with doing that because it would be nice to have like take that audience and have them follow you over. You already have a built-in audience. It would be sick. We thought about doing like athletes or musicians or anybody in what they do, and then them talking about what is a kook in their world. You know what I mean? Like, what is a kook? Like,
take it
like
outside of just
comedy,
surf. Yeah.
No. And that's another thing. Like, I never wanted to stay in the surfing thing. Like, it's a part of my life that I love, but like, it's weird because you have this audience and a lot of them are surfers, but like, I want to go in a different direction because again, you have all these things, the Navy, that lot more to a person, you know, and a story than just surfing.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to keep painting you as this one-dimensional guy, man. He's also an artist. He's a sensitive man. He's not afraid to cry.
It's actually what I do is performance art. A lot of people don't understand it. This is all just an experiment. It's art, you know. That's me. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Have you noticed I'm staring at myself this entire time?
Yeah.
I'm like this.
I think
I should be looking at you, but I've been staring at my horrible mustache.
Yeah. Oh, God. If I don't say this now, I'll be mad that I didn't say this before. I don't think I've ever had more fun watching somebody have an uncomfortable medical procedure as I did with you getting the coronavirus swab.
Hurt so bad.
It looked like it almost came out your ear.
It's awful. They shove it up so far up your nose that it feels like it pops something in your nasal cavity, and then it hurts for like a week. And like they break something.
I wish I had it in front of me so we could do like a slow motion breakdown too, because at one point she keeps going and then you kind of like open your eye, look at her a little bit, and your hand comes up. And as soon as your hand comes up, she looks at it like, is he going to grab me? Like she's used to like somebody swapping at her.
Mm-hmm. I was coming up. I was like, this is so ridiculous. My arm started to raise, and I was going to grab her elbow and pull it down. I was like, what are you doing? Anyways, yeah, that was bad.
Yeah. Well, thank you for giving us, in these trying times, finding at least a little bit of humor in it where usually there's not much.
No worries, man. I love doing it. And I appreciate you having me on, and I hope you have a great rest of the week, dude.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for staying awake and managing to get through here with us. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, listening to John's story. Check us out at www.christophertallon.com. Find out more about me, find out more about the show, and hit me up on Instagram at Christopher_Tallon. Later, guys.